Hey everybody, it's Dave with No Chaser, and for today's video, I think this is like one of the first video topics I haven't covered that's in the realm of addiction and recovery that I haven't stepped on I haven't did a thing about. I've done this little show or ramblings of a person with a phone and a crazy mind for I don't know, maybe 2 years or something. But anyways, so it's the idea of codependency. So a lot of things where people they think codependency and addiction and alcoholism go hand in hand. And normally, I don't like that people just automatically assume it deals with the stigmatizing of oh yeah, these broken people also have these other broken people problems. It's not it just flippantly said that any relationship with addict alcoholics when they're together is codependency or anything like that. I think it's said too much too often, but really breaking it down and understanding what it is a good thing to know, because when you talk about getting in recovery and getting better for yourself, one of the things that you have to be very aware of and vigilant of is not to fall into any sort of cross addiction or fall into the same patterns of your addictive behavior in your life just with something that isn't drugs and alcohol. And a lot of times that is a relationship. And so with codependency, it is I'll say this right off the bat, I am not a doctor or a psychiatrist or a counselor, or I don't play any of them on TV. And I'm a guy who has been through recovery through decades and has experienced failures and successes and just met a lot of people and just bear witness to a lot of things. So this is my ramblings, but this is what I'll say about codependency is that what I've seen. Oh, by the way, I do have a little bit of college knowledge. I had a stint in a master's program that is unfinished. Thank you very much. I owe a bunch of money to. But anyways, so I know that codependency is this thing where people will they basically put their well-being and happiness that they risk it on with another person. Their relationship with another person is going to dictate their contentment and well-being in life. Because the thing is that it follows addiction and people that succumb to alcoholism and all that stuff, because it's always something that's missing. There's a hole that needs to be filled. There's something that they quite haven't figured out in life, or they don't mesh well, and it's doing something for them. And so really what it comes down to is that it's about people not being able to deal with life just as it comes, and not deal with the present day, and not deal with what, I mean, you could say emotions, the feelings, the responsibilities, just the inner workings of life without having a buzz or a drunk or a high. That's the problem of addicted people. And so what it creates is that there's not a strong sense of self-worth or self-love, and there's not even a lot of self-accountability. I think to myself, where in active addiction, I would be dude, I don't trust myself. Absolutely. I would not put myself as a job reference or emergency contact or anything like that. I didn't think highly of myself. Now, I mean, you shouldn't beat yourself up to a point where it's shame, because that's just what you're doing is you're just hurting yourself more to put yourself in a place to continue to do bad behaviors. But there is a real assessment, I need to turn my life around. I need to understand that I am valuable and worth it. But the thing with codependency is that their understanding of value and worth comes from the response of another person. Like how another person loves them, how another person treats them, how another person basically reciprocates to their life, like what they, say or do, or how much they love them. Like that is what's gonna be the marker for how much I am valued. And that's why it's such a it's a not only a bad situation to be in, but it's an affliction of living, because people are flawed. Humans be humans, and you can't count on another person for your own sake and well-being, and you can't let another person, because they're worried about their own life. You can't let them dictate how you're going to feel and how you're going to be, because you could just if another person's in a bad mood or they're having a bad day and they take it out on you, all of a sudden you could be having a great day, things could be going well for you, and then it turns to crap because this other person is not doing well. And I went about this going into the outer realms of the codependency thing. Really what you see a lot of it is people being very clingy, or people being very possessive, people being very where they all or nothing things, where they just you have to commit to me, or it's these very radioactive relationships where it's just too intense, too much drama, too much stuff going on at once, and it's take a chill pill. But this idea of love, this idea of connection is put up so it's touted so highly, because this is what is creating this person's happiness and their worth in life. And so and the thing is, the sneaky part about codependency is that it tricks you into obviously if you're putting drugs in a needle and shooting it in your arm, or you're smoking black grimy stuff from a pipe, or you're drinking this liquor that smells bad, and when you're doing those things, it's quite obvious that's not good. And you see how drunk people act, or how high people act, you're that's not good. But the sneaky thing about codependency is that it has this kind of camouflage, if you will, of this is a natural thing. People love each other. What, I'm addicted to love? You're gonna say that I have human empathy? That's a bad thing? That I care and have affection for someone? That's me being needy? That it could make people incredibly defensive, because it's something that's easy to covertly hide, because it's something we do naturally. It's kind of like when people are addicted to food, addicted to binge eating. I mean, that's got to be such a tough place to be, because it's one of those things where, for instance, me, drugs and alcohol, I can't do. And that it's good because I have a very simple program of not going to do any of it, not one drop, not one anything. But if you're addicted to food, you have to have food. And so, you have to learn how to moderate. And that's the whole crux of addiction, is that you can't do that thing. So it's incredibly hard. So now taking the food thing and moving it to another need of humans, human need is love and connection and the companionship with somebody. But it's now twisted in this addictive way where basically you're taking what is the natural chemicals that come from love, and the way that someone texts you something nice, and the way you feel when you kiss somebody, and the way that you feel when you smell someone or see someone or hold them in the arms. You're now taking this natural thing, and almost the way the drug dealer gets a brick of heroin and then busts it down and cuts it into he gets the baby lactate or whatever, and then they make crack out of it, and the pots and pans, and they cut it all down. And it's you take these natural things and you just commodify them into these like dopamine hits and stuff, and you've taken what is like this natural thing of love and of connection to another person, and it's twisted into something that is making you feel good. Because that's one of the biggest things is like people, I talk about the defensiveness of people saying like like codependency, or is it love, or what have you. It's the idea that the love is not real because it is not based on a true connection between people. It's based on something that is a needing like validation and a basically a reward system. Just like addiction, it's a reward system of making me feel good based on another person. It's not like the thing of where I meet another person, like me, for instance. I have a person that I love in my life, and we connect on these values that we share and these ideas that we have and these things that we want to do, and we mesh well, and we agree on a lot of stuff that we want to like do things together and go forward. And that's just, Jesus, am I just describing a relationship? But anyways, but that's like what we want to do. The codependency thing is you're taking this relationship, but no. It's not about like creating this life or raising children or doing anything. I just need to like get these dopamine hits from you, from breathing you in, from kissing you, from texting you, from doing whatever with you, from snuggling with you, from like talking with you. Like I just like going to the crack dealer. I just need to take nips from it in this weird gamified like way that you take this natural human like interaction and you make it to something that is, once again, just something that is a substance to be used almost. Is any of this making any sense? This is, I should just title this is Dave's take on codependency. I don't know. I thought I would do something because codependency is like a huge topic amongst like the addiction and recovery circle. So I thought I'd talk about it. So here we go. That's Dave's codependency talk. Maybe I'll do another one in the near future. But maybe there's a reason it took so long for me to do this. Anyways, I'm dropping this video. Right now, I am just waiting with bated breath to get the final release from my publisher. I have a book that's coming out that is called At Least the Pain is Cheap. It is a collection of poetry that is based on the struggles of the working class people of the American Midwest and the human experience. And this is a little plug time. I will have a link that I will post in the next video. Maybe I'll update this video with it. You could go to the Shoeless in South Dakota website. It's shoelessinsouthdakota.com. There will be a link there. And the other thing is that you can buy it on Amazon. At Least the Pain is Cheap. But here's the best part, is that there is, if you I get it, times are tight. Like I put $10 for a paperback edition of this book. But I want to get my work out there. If you want to read this stuff, if you like these videos and my thoughts and my craziness, I do have a setup email that At Least the Pain is Cheap at gmail.com. Send a request and I will send you a free PDF copy of my work. There'll be the whole book. It'll just be a PDF copy that you can read and look on your phone. If you do that, share it on social media, share it on the Facebook or Twitters or all the Instagram or anything like that. Go to Amazon, plug in good reviews, all that type of stuff. This is going too long, but that's my talk for my plug for my book. Anyway, we were talking about codependency. Hope you're doing well. Be well.